Welcome back to another Pirkei Avot text discussion. We are on the 11th text in the second chapter of Pirkei Avot. Just to bring us up to speed, a little bit of context. We had a few texts ago, we talked about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai receiving the tradition from Hillel and Shammai, and then him just passing it on, or having 5 disciples. So he had 5 disciples. He described them in brief. Then we got to see a little bit of their own wisdom. And then we now have each of these 5 disciples sharing 3 pieces of wisdom. Our previous text was Rabbi Eliezer, and now we get to hear of Rabbi Yehoshua's. Rabbi Yehoshua, here we go. He says, an evil eye, the evil inclination, and hatred for humanity puts a person out of this world, or really takes a person out of this world. So this is, by the way, a lot more terse than Rabbi Eliezer's his advice. He had 3 totally separate pieces. Here he says, here are the 3 things. And it almost comes across as if he doesn't want to provide 3 totally separate pieces of wisdom, but rather here are 3 different things that really are not good for somebody and take them out of this world. Now, having heard those things, let me just repeat them. A bad eye, a bad yetzer, the evil inclination, and also hatred of people take somebody out of this world. Now, what does that mean? Obviously, a person's still going to be in this world. Really, what I think he means is that you are really going to find yourself distanced from society. That really seems to be the upshot of Rabbi Yehoshua's observation here. We could call it wisdom. It's more of an observation. He's noticed if you have an evil eye, which it's not really clear, and I'm not altogether clear or even sure specifically what an evil eye is. Whatever it is, it's not the best thing. It's also, it's funny because this evil eye, this ayin ra, is ayin hara, which is interesting. His colleague Rabbi Eliezer stated that the ayin hara was actually something that it's an evil way which a man should shun. It's basically it's a path that someone should avoid. So that his colleague already said that earlier, 2 texts ago. You should stay away from that. And here he's saying this is one of the components that drive someone out from society. The second one is an evil inclination. Now, the rabbis talk about evil inclination oftentimes in sexual matters, that it's a drive. But I think it also, it could be just for doing bad stuff in general. I will say the rabbis also talk about it as something that drives people to being productive members of society. I don't think that is the aspect that Rabbi Yehoshua is trying to characterize here. Part of it could be that evil sexual inclination, but also maybe for doing other bad stuff, right? So in as much as I'm not really clear what ayin hara is from the context of his statement, but yetzer hara, an evil inclination, can certainly drive someone away from society. The final one really needs actually quite little discussion of hatred of people. Yeah, if you're going to be hateful of people, if you really don't like people, that will most certainly drive you out of society. So these observations by Rabbi Yehoshua, it really is, these will take you away out of society. I just want to connect us back a little bit more about Yehoshua, is how Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had described him just a few texts ago. What he had described him as, fortunate or happy is the woman who gave birth to him. Happy is who. So clearly, Rabbi Yehoshua here comes off as somebody who very much appreciates and values being part of society, maintaining positive and good relationships and relationship with others. As his teacher had described him, as fortunate is the person who gave birth to him, clearly suggesting that he is a positive influence, a good person to have around. And certainly from his statement here, identifying these 3 aspects that drive someone away from the world, meaning don't do these things and you'll still be a part of society. So these are Rabbi Yehoshua's, and thank you so much for watching.